My name's Nick Hartman. I play French horn with your Toronto Symphony Orchestra. The weirdest thing about being in an orchestra is probably the hours. My partner he works a 9-to-5 job, and so it never really occurred to me how varied our schedule is every week. A season or two ago, when we were playing Mahler 5 with John Storgard's, 4 minutes from the end of this hour-and-a-half long piece, and all the lights in the hall went out. The whole thing almost ground to a halt. We got so close to falling apart right at the very end of this piece, but our low brass section was playing on iPads, and so they could still read the music, and they just kept going. A few minutes later, the lights came back on, everybody got back on, and somehow we all ended together. It was actually pretty funny in hindsight. I practice on average every day 2 hours, whether or not I have a concert. The music I usually learn in a coffee shop with my headphones in. That's sort of how I go about learning it. And if there's something that's really technically demanding, yes, I'll work on that. The process of actually learning the music for the TSO usually happens away from the instrument for me. So most rehearsals will have a break about halfway through, and then at the end of the rehearsal in total, there's a part that the audience almost never sees where most of the musicians will remain on stage and try things in their section that didn't go the way they planned in the rehearsal itself. This is just kind of the extra time that we can spend together in and around rehearsals working on things that didn't line up quite right. There's so many moments I wish I could go back and relive. I would say playing the Prokofiev Romeo and Juliet suite in Carnegie Hall with Maestro Gimeno was a really special moment. That was my first time ever playing in Carnegie Hall. With this orchestra, in that setting, on tour, in such a beautiful space, I could do that every day and be perfectly happy with my career. I have that moment every day when the brass hit a note that rings really well, and I helped contribute to that. I have moments when I get to the hall and I think, okay, I'm warming up to play my big job with a major orchestra. I've been a professional musician since 2012, and that's never gone away from me. I think classical music is having such a big moment right now because there's so much in our perception that isn't real or is computer generated. And when you go hear a TSO concert, every note you hear, every word you read in the program, every word that's spoken by the conductor on stage, all of that was generated by humans. It's really refreshing to spend 2 hours of your week listening to something that was exclusively made by humans, for humans.
Your Toronto Symphony Orchestra.